Hey there everyone, just a quick new video. I'm going to try and do some of these while driving so I can chat to you, be productive while I drive, and maybe impart some information that might be of use to you. Alright, so what I'm going to be talking about today is basically about home gym setups. I'm going to be doing a couple of small short videos on this topic, and it's just basically things I've seen a lot of my clients getting wrong. Not wrong, but making small mistakes when it comes to actually setting up their gym equipment and setting up their home gyms, etc. And it can be quite a costly little exercise, especially if you get things wrong. There are a lot of great Facebook groups and communities out there, Reddit, that you can sit and chat to a lot of people there. But this is just stuff that I have seen personally, along with my recommendations with regards to home gym setups. So the first thing I need to chat to you about, or want to chat to you guys about, is when it comes to weight plates. Now, if the weight plates that you choose really does come down to what your activities are for the gym. So if you're doing things along the lines of CrossFit or Olympic lifts versus traditional bodybuilding exercise, etc., the weight plates make a huge difference on which ones you should be selecting. Okay. Now, the way I'm going to be talking about it in this particular video is more along the lines of what is my preference, what I think is a better preference, and this is talking with regards to my clients. So none of my clients that I know of are into CrossFit or Olympic powerlifting or dropping the weight overhead. So they're mainly looking for body recomposition, that bodybuilding style of training and getting bigger and stronger, etc. Now, even taking that out of the equation, I think that bumper plates are probably a big no-no for most home gyms. And here's the reason why. Bumper plates are fantastic because they're quieter, they last a bit longer, you can drop them, they don't break. And by the way, you should still be using a rubber floor matting if you even got bumper plates. That's a 100% thing that you have to have. I don't care how good the bumper plates are, you still need rubber flooring. So a lot of guys will say, you can just drop it from anywhere, I don't need to put flooring down. No, I disagree with you completely, but that's another argument for another day. The problem with rubber bumper plates is the amount of real estate that it takes up. Now, if you own your own home gym, you own your own commercial gym, you own your own studio, real estate or floor space is probably the most critical thing you have in that area, okay? You don't have a warehouse where you can just fill it up with as many pieces of equipment that you want, or you can have as much storage as you want. Especially in a garage gym or home gym, space is limited, okay? So you don't really have the space to keep all these bumper plates, and bumper plates are incredibly thick. You're looking at about anywhere between 10 to 20 millimeters thicker than any other plates. So that takes up a lot of space when it comes to storage. But more importantly, it takes up a lot of space on your weight horns. So if you're using, for example, a leg extension piece of kit on your rack, or you've got a leg extension machine at your home gym, you can't fill it up with the amount of weight that you might need to progress with your lifts. So for example, I have a client, he has a leg extension machine for his power rack, and unfortunately now he's reached the limit with the weight horn. Okay, so he cannot put any more weight on the actual leg extension machine, and he's maxed it out, and it's not even that much weight for him. I think it's about 60 kilos for him to do, and he can probably progress well to about 100 kilos. But now he's stuck, so now he needs to use rubber bands, or he needs to do this or do that. If he uses traditional sort of iron plates or rubberized iron plates, which is probably the best option of the three, he could probably stack on there another 40 kilos quite easily onto that weight, onto that horn, and continue with his progressions. So for me, bumper plates, they're cool, you can drop them and all that sort of stuff, but from a space perspective and your lift progressions and being able to put more weight on the bar, rubber bumper plates are really going to just eat up all that space, and to me it just doesn't seem like a viable option. Okay, if however, as I mentioned earlier on in the beginning, if you are planning on doing CrossFit or powerlifting style of training, very, very different story, then you can definitely use, I would recommend using the rubber bumper plates. Now, where can you find good quality where can you find good quality weight plates of different styles? I mean, you can look at Strength Shop, Strength Sensei, they've got some good stuff there. X Masters, a lot of these places have got the cast iron or steel weight plates rubberized basically. I know that X Masters have got some really nice stuff. They got theirs laser cut, their steel's laser cut, and then they cover it up with a with a urethane coating. Very, very nice stuff there. Also, Strength Sensei have got some nice ones as well, that I'm looking at for my own personal gym there. But look, those are the pros and cons when it comes to it. So, rubber bumper plates, a lot of space. They are quieter. They are more drop proof, but take up a lot of real estate when it comes to storage and on your equipment. When you're looking at iron plates, they are the most slimline, but they are noisy, and you know, they're not really drop proof if you're dropping off at very high positions and things like that. And then the middle of the road, and my personal preference, is the rubberized iron plates. You do need to be careful with them because they can start peeling after a period of time, so you can get those repaired. But they've got a medium profile. You can get a lot more bang for your buck out of it, and they are quieter than metal ones, but not as quiet as rubberized ones. But yeah, that would be my preference if I was to advise any client, is to rather go for those ones. You're going to be much happier with the amount of progression you're going to be doing, especially if you're just doing this for strength training, etc. You won't go wrong. All right, well, that's that. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you found it helpful, please let me know in the comments below. And if there's any other questions, let me know on this topic. And then next week, we will be discussing something else with regards to the home gym. And it's going to be talking about flooring. All right, then. Catch you then. Ciao. Yes, I just wanted to do a really quick comparison with the different weight plates. So you can just get an idea on the thickness difference. I didn't cover that in the last video, so I'm just going to do it really, really quickly now. So if we have a look at X Masters bumper plates here, these are the competition bumper plates. It's 2.3 inches in thickness. So we're just going to try and work with the 20 kilo or the 15 kilo. So 2.3, which comes in at about 58 millimeters, which is not too bad. But if we have to look at the urethane grips version, so we're looking at the 45 pound plate again, then we're looking at a we're looking at 34 millimeters, so quite a big difference between the two. So from 51 to 34, almost 35. Okay, so I just wanted to have a look quickly with you on the different sizes and the different thicknesses of the different plates. So here's X Masters, for example. If we look at the 45 pound plate or a 20 kilo plate, it's 2.32 inches, which is about 59 millimeters. Okay, when we look at their rubber gripped plates, we're looking at quite a big difference here of 1.37 inches, so it's 35 millimeters in thickness. So from 59 to 35, huge difference there. If we look at the Strength Sensei ones, again 20 kilos, 71, so it is thicker than the X Masters. But if we look at their rubber coated versions, the difference there is 41. So thicker than, say, X Masters, but you can see a huge difference between the two sizes. 71 versus 41, you can almost get another plate on. So an extra 20 kilos onto your weight horn or when you're doing the actual training. Other places worth mentioning, you can have a look at RPM Power. They do have bumper plates that you can look at, and they also have the hand gripped version. Let me just jump into here quickly. They also have the tri-grip ones that you can have a look at. Unfortunately, they don't mention the thickness of the plates on their website, so I'll probably just get a hold of them and just find out what the difference is there. But I've worked with these weight plates before at commercial gyms. They are still going to be a lot thinner, probably around that 34 millimeter in thickness, like the Strength Sensei stuff. So that would be pretty much the difference there. So that's why I say it is rather important to choose the right weight plates for your needs. And for me, the middle of the road is always going to be a pair like this. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments below. And if you need anything else, just drop a comment and we'll chat about it. And like I said, we will be covering rubber flooring in next week's video. Thanks very much. Ciao.